The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Angie Warrington, and I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Blake and I are really excited to have you on this call tonight because we just got back from the Team Beachbody Leadership Retreat in Dana Point, California, and every year we go, Blake and I just kind of come back from that retreat, one in awe of our company yet again, or always. But the information that they delivered this year, again, was pretty explosive. So we decided we didn't want you just to hear from Blake and I. We wanted you to hear from three other leaders on the team. They're different parts. They're in different spots in their business, but they're all success-driven. They've got success rolling. They've got steam going in their business now. We even have an elite coach on the call. So we really wanted you to join us tonight so you could hear from all of us that were there to talk about the live adventures of going to a leadership retreat and what we learned, what Beachbody gives to us at the leadership. I mean, everybody needs to get to Summit, and getting to the leadership retreat is the next evolution in your business. So tonight we have my wonderful, handsome husband, 9-star diamond coach Blake Warrington, joining us tonight, and Mark Klenak, who's a 3-star diamond elite coach, Ted Duncan, 1-star diamond coach, and Jason Croxford, a 4-star diamond coach. So you're going to hear from a lot of different voices tonight. So if you have questions, please take the time while you're listening to the call. Type in your questions into the box. I believe that's where we're getting them, Michelle. I think that's what she said to say. But yeah, start typing them in now, and we'll get those answered towards the end of the call. But pop your questions in there as they pop into your head, and we'll try to get through questions at the end, and everybody's agreed to answer your questions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it over to Blake and let him share with you some of his notes, some of his insights, and his takeaways from our time at leadership and what we learned. So Blake, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, honey. Okay, well, so you can see everybody on the screen there. That's who'll be talking to you guys, or with you guys tonight. Everybody was there, and obviously quite a few more people. I'm just going to share with you guys some numbers in the notes, like Angie said, because there's some pretty interesting stuff that I think is really important for you guys to see. Before I do that, when I was looking for pictures for everybody, it's kind of interesting. I found these things, and it's kind of interesting. When I typed in looking for Mark Klenak, that chicken thing popped up. That was kind of weird, Mark. And that's my wife. She got her first AARP card there, so that's going to probably go far for me. And then there's Jason Crawford being Atlas, and I saw that little picture there, Ted Duncan. So that's your real group there that's going to be talking to you tonight. So
keeping it real.
That said, this is not going to be a pretty slideshow presentation because I just kind of grabbed and copied and pasted from my Evernote thing. So here's some numbers from the Team Beachbody's made. So when we started in 2008, that revenue was $37 million, and you can see the numbers. The next year 46, then 76 in 2010, 131 million in 11, and 218 million in 2012, and then they're projecting that we're going to do 300 million in 2013. And what that is those are awesome numbers, because when we started Team Beachbody was making 300 million or so that year, in 2007, 2008. Now they're projected to do that bottom note there, almost 700 million, between 600 and 700 million this year, of which our division, our Team Beachbody, is also responsible for almost half the income. So what that is showing is that Carl and John were up on stage giving these numbers, and basically what that's saying is that they're extremely happy and impressed with what the network has done. So we're going to do 300 million. So in basically 6 years, all the coaches that are part of this, of the network, are going to do responsible for 300 million. So that's some phenomenal growth if you look at those numbers for our business. And that basically shows you, most network marketing or any business fails within, I think they'd say 95% of all businesses fail in the first 3 to 5 years. So we're in our 6th, heading into our 7th year, and this company's obviously rocking. So that shows you got a good company with some really good stability and strong growth, which they're impressed with. So some more numbers is that they basically said, 37% expected revenue growth over 2012. 170,000 in Shakeology home direct sales per month. The average time, so this may not sound good, but they said, the average time somebody's on Shakeology is 4.9 months, obviously some less and some more, but they said those are huge numbers for anybody staying on any kind of a continuity or, as our case, home direct type order. So those were real impressive numbers. Had 7,000 coaches at Summit. Currently there's about more than 133,000 coaches, of which 82,000 are currently active. And normally hitting about 3,000 people get Success Club every month. So here again, these are just some cool numbers. New program that came out, and you guys have probably seen it. You can just Google 21-Day Fix, and this is a new trainer named Autumn Calabrese, I think is how they pronounced it.
I think it's Calabrese.
Huh?
I think it's Calabrese.
Yeah, so it's basically 21 workouts, a 21-day program. What it was designed about is they kind of said there's a lot of success around the Ultimate Reset being a 21-day program, and that was a key factor, is getting people to commit to something for just 21 days. There are 30-minute long workouts, so that's going to make it very doable for a lot of people. Some stats: they had a 25-year-old guy that was 380 pounds when he started this program, and he lost 93 pounds in 5 months, so and still going. They mentioned a 72-year-old woman who said that, what was it, Angie, that she could barely pick up a 2-pound weight. Yeah, 2-pound weight.
Yeah.
There. And now she's just in phenomenal shape and lost, 74 pounds and stuff. And so this is what this 21-day program has to do. And then Carl took his before and after picture. He, was a participant in the test group, and very impressive. I mean, he went from, being in good shape, to pretty shredded. He's got his abs and all that stuff back, and so lots of good, a 21-day program. You can get a lot of people on that. That's, one of the biggest factors with, people getting on P90X and some other stuff, obviously, is the time involved.
Well, and I think also, too, that with Autumn's program, her big thing is portion control, and I think that's where she's teaching a lot about food and portion control, because she really touched on that a lot. And so I think it's going to be kind of exciting to teach people a little bit more about just the fitness, but also getting into food and portion control. So it sounds like it's a really well-rounded program. Blake, where'd you go?
Oh, sorry, I hit the mute button. So yeah, Autumn was talking about, I think it was somebody who was on the test group was sitting next to her, having lunch, and she ordered a salad and, and with dressing and all that stuff. And Autumn asked the gal that, was serving them, hey, do you got your nutritional chart? And she showed her, and she was on a 1,400 calorie per day diet or, meal plan. And she brought out the chart and said that salad right there was 1,400 calories. So her one salad, and didn't include whatever else she had for lunch, ate up her entire day's calories. And so that's what she was trying to, as Angie said, that's what part of that program's about. P90X3, which is coming out, that's going to, that 21-day program's coming out in February of next year. P90X3 is coming out in December 10th of this year. 20 workouts, 30 minutes long, so they're getting into, taking it to the next level. They kind of said that P90X2 didn't do as good as they thought, and they think they made it look too kind of scary and intimidating for people. And of course, it's also, longer workouts like P90X is. So they're jumping on these shorter workouts that seem to be like T25 and 10-minute trainer and stuff like that seem to get people more sticking with the program. So P90X3 is going to be 20 different workouts, so a lot of different workouts, not so many, the same stuff over and over. 30 minutes long. So a couple numbers, they had a few things. The entire test group lost 10% body fat. Checks exploded 2 years ago with P90X2. And so what this is something, get your business going, because every time Christmas comes, they launch a new workout program, it's just insane what your volume's going to do. So knowing that you got a couple months to kind of work for that, now would be a really good time to really get your business going and geared up and people in there, because people see that P90X2 and they're counting on it being just an off the charts program. So they're not doing pre-sales this time either. So it's just going to open up on December 10th to the entire network. No pre-sales before that date. So just, December 10th, that thing's going to show up, and it's going to, like I said, if you got a business going, you're going to see you could see your checks really go up for that whole period. Some important numbers. They got the only network exclusive with this, meaning P90X3 is going to go out onto Beachbody. It'll be an infomercial. It's not going to be a proprietary program for the network. The one proprietary thing is they're going to have a one-on-one leg routine that you'll get free included as long as you order, get it before December 31st. They're going to have limited stock on inventory because Carl said, that the bean counters, they're not going to let them, buy a gazillion things. I think they said, Angie, they sold out of T25 real quick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this could go fast. So if you decide you want P90X3, you might want to grab them, as soon as December 10th hit, because he says he has no guarantee, and there could be delays if people don't get it in time. You might not get it by Christmas. And speaking of that, if you want it before Christmas, so you might want to write this down. You're going to have to order it by December 15th. So if you're looking for it as a gift for somebody, then you're going to want to get it before December 15th. If you want it just before January 1st, you're going to have to order it by December 22nd. So those are some two important dates if you're thinking about getting that program to make sure you write down and pass on to people on your team. A couple cool things, just miscellaneous stuff, and they got vanilla. You've probably seen it, but they got a new sample pack that's going to have vanilla, both of the chocolate Shakeologies, and meaning the vegan and the regular, and then the greenberry. And those four are going to be in a sample pack. People ask why those four, why not strawberry? They basically said these are the four most popular selling Shakeologies that we have. So that's why they were put into those programs, because some people, like I said, they were asking, why not this one, why not that one? Heard Andy talk about, but you need to get Summit. Carl said, he was very, very, with this will blow your mind, that they're coming out with 3 new products that we'll be able to get in at next Summit. So he was, I've never heard him say that. He's always saying, get to Summit, this is why, but he was very, very on point about this will blow your mind with what they got coming out. So that's something to really, when he says something like that, he's not a over-promise, under-deliver. He's more of an under-promise, over-deliver kind of guy. So if he says that, I think you guys plan on getting to Summit.
Yeah, and real quick, they also said that hotel rooms, their block is going to sell out fast this year, and MGM's not going to extend the block. So I don't think you can pre-book tickets or pre-book rooms right now, but as soon as you can, you might want to pre-book your room or get your team really thinking about getting to Summit, because those rooms are going to go fast, and you know how crazy it is. And next year we're going to be there at the same time as that EDC concert, so it'll be a little wild and wacky at the MGM. So just make sure you book early and get your room locked in.
Yeah, that's a good point. That concert had 250,000 people were there, so it's insane, and it's going to happen again. So, yeah, it's a good point. Get your rooms right away. I mean, you can always cancel if you had to, but plan on going now and plan on being there. And then leadership. Leadership's a whole different deal, but it's actually, we talk about it. It's actually even more fun than Summit sometimes, because there's, instead of 7,000 people, there's like 600 people, so it's you get much more time to talk to people instead of it being so crazy wild and everything. And that's going to be September 18th to the 24th. So if you're not a 2-star, then I would make that your goal to get 2-star diamond next year, so you can be there, because you'll hear from a couple of the guys on here on the call about what it meant to them.
Yeah, and next year we're going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona at this amazing, like, crazy-looking resort. So, I mean, Beachbody doesn't skimp on leadership retreat at all. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that in a minute.
Yeah, and they covered our room and the food and everything. So it's like you just pay your airfare for the most part, and and get there if the rules are the same. Carl mentioned about what keeps them up at night. It's 2 things: bonuses for employees and the number of coaches earning checks. That's a thing they're really working on, and you'll see that in what's coming up in here that Mark Klenak's going to be talking about. So that's why I'm trying to blow through this real quick, because Mark's got some great stuff to talk about. Right now there's a new business opportunity video in your back office. So the old one's down and the new one's up back there, and it's a great little video to pass out to people, and I'm sure they're going to have the DVD for that too. Real quick, on a touch on somebody, there's a lot of coaches out there that, struggle with the business. They can't get things to work. They have problems. They quit. And I'm sure everybody on this call was extremely impressed with this gal named Perlene, who is 100% deaf, and so is her husband, and they communicate through sign language. And she got up there and spoke with an interpreter, doing sign language and everything, and told her story. And you think you got handicaps and problems in your life and family issues, because we all do, but imagine trying to build this business when you're deaf in a world that's mostly full of people that talk and hear with their ears and mouth. So her story was extremely impressive, and if it's not back there yet, I hope they put that up in the back office. Villanelle Shakeology is now 24% of all orders, so that thing has skyrocketed to the top, so you should think about how soon that just came out. Chocolate is the #1 flavor, and people stay on it the longest. T25 sold 53,000 challenge packs since its launch and sold over 200,000 units company-wide. So as they said, it's a good time to wear the T-shirts and things like that, because it's going to be, they said, when we were there last week, they said this following week, Carl said it was going to be the #1 infomercial in the country. So people will be seeing quite a bit of that, and if you're wearing the T-shirt, you could potentially get people asking you about what's T25 and making some sales. And I would tell you also, we were able to get P90X3 shirts. As soon as you get those things, I would get a shirt on that too. And then they got the new vanilla chocolate Shakeology combo pack is out. Now I'm going to get into something. This is where Mark's going to talk on it. I'm just going to give you the numbers, and they're pretty cool. And Mark Klanek, 3-star diamond coach, he was a part of the test group that went into this thing for, I think it was 60 days. So this is a 60-day to Emerald program, but something that's been tested, not just thrown up and okay, here's some cool stuff, do it, but this was actually tested by quite a few coaches, of which Mark was one of them. Here's some numbers they showed us, and I'm going to turn it over to Mark to talk about what it meant to him and what it was like and how it can really help you guys explode your businesses. Think about this now. Look about people in your own business and coaches that struggle and stuff. So the average coach that was on the test group, and Mark can also talk about Leon. If I wrote down senior VP of, because she talked, I don't remember what it was. But the average coach that was part of the test group earned $198 their very first month, and then went on to earn $278 their second month. So think about that. How many people, if you got your people to do Coach Basics, and if they got $100, that more than pays for their Shakeology. That's kind of one of the things people quit. They're looking at the cost of Shakeology, and they go, in their mind, they can't afford it, so they quit sometimes. And now if they go through this Coach Basics program in their first month, they paid for their Shakeology and put $100 in their pocket on top of it. The next month they've put almost $200 in their pocket. Now they got a profitable business their first month. Think about that. Well, not including the cost of the startup costs of everything too, but profitable business their second month. So a few other numbers: 78% earned more than $100 in their first month. Here again, that covers the cost of their Shakeology their very first month. 78%. That's a huge number. 48% earns a Success Starter one. 64% advanced and ranked to Emerald Coach by the end of their second month. Think about that. How many of your coaches in your organization, if that many, that's 64% advanced to Emerald? I mean, I know that would really explode our business. So here again, these are real-world numbers, not made up, with average people just starting this thing from scratch. And then 34% increase in earnings for diamonds who are part of the test group, so between April and July there. So those are some pretty impressive numbers, and so I'm done with that. Like I said, you just got 3 days worth of meetings, compressed into 20 minutes, and there's obviously a lot more that went on. And why you do
Blake,
need.
Before you turn it over, everybody write this down. When you go to Facebook, Beachbody Coach Basics. This is what Mark's going to be talking about. Don't message Mark for answers. Go to Beachbody Coach Basics on Facebook. Get into the group, and that's where Leanne is in there. That's her group for the Beachbody Coach Basics. So I just wanted to throw that in there so people didn't start messaging Mark right away.
And oops, there's 21 Day Fix, and then that's Coach Basics page, so that's where you go to get more information on that. So with that, Mr. Mark Klenak, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mark Klenak, 3-Star Diamond, and what other great things you've done you can tell because I don't know. But with that, I'll turn it over to you so you can explain Coach Basics, the benefits to everybody and why they should be doing it, and what the success you had with it.
Awesome. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you great.
Okay, perfect. Well, first I just want to say thanks to Angie and Blake for having me on. It really is an honor to talk on your call. I just want to let the entire team know, really, first of all, just what amazing leaders Blake and Angie are. They don't have to do trainings like this, but they're still plugging in, they're still engaged, trying to give us the best value to help us grow our business. So don't take that for granted because, circling around with some of the other top coaches, not everybody does stuff like this. So definitely, make sure you appreciate everything that they do for us. So I'm going to jump in and talk a little bit about Coach Basics. I'm not going to get really into all the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts of it. There is a ton of information in your back office in that Facebook group that can help you kind of work through some of the logistical things of it. I know they put a banner in the back office right underneath where your volume and all that stuff is. Click on that, and that'll take you to the Coach Basics information. But really quickly, you might be thinking, well, what exactly is this Coach Basics? And quite simply, it's a system for success. That's one of the things that I was really looking for our business. Even though we had some success last year, hit elite and did some other things, I really just didn't feel like I had a system that I could plug everybody into. It was kind of everything was based on me. I had every coach in our organization coming to me for questions. Everybody was asking me stuff, and it really does wear you out and drain you the bigger your organization gets. So Coach Basics is just quite simply a system for success. And systems are what produce predictable results. You may have heard this saying that people don't duplicate, systems do, and it's so true. And that's what the Coach Basics system can do for you. It's going to help you to groom your coaches and create winners. And so, what Coach Basics is, it's 60 days of little assignments to bring a new coach on board and give them little assignments every day to help them grow their business. The majority of the coaches that I've talked to, and some of the things that we've done is we actually split it into 2 30-day segments. We don't do an entire 60-day group, but we kind of do a 30-day group, and then if you graduate, you can get into the next 30-day group. But why should you think about using Coach Basics? If you're a new coach, if you're a veteran coach, you've been around for a while, this is something that you can literally just plug and play. I don't know exactly how everyone's growing their business. I know for our team, we do a lot of challenge groups. We rely a lot on the 5-step invite process that was developed by Tommy Migrant. And so part of that process is copy and paste, right? Copy, paste, personalize it a little bit to add your style. And that's exactly what this is. It's a training system in a box that you can just copy, paste the post on your private page, and let it run. Let it run. And the biggest thing that it's going to do for you again is help with duplication. So now you don't have to go and train everybody on your entire team. You train a group, and then that group trains the next group, and then that group trains the next group, and it starts to grow away from you, and that's what you want long term with this business. The other big thing that I know it really helped me with, because when I know you may be like this too. When I would bring a coach on, I felt like I had to be there at all times for a new coach. Whenever you need me, I'm here to help, and it burned me out. And so what Coach Basics has done for me is help create that filter process. They say that the cream will rise to the top. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen with this Coach Basics group. Because, for example, you might have a group of 9 coaches that start in this group. Because part of the Coach Basics is using Google Hangouts, which again you can find all the details on how to set that up, in the information. but you can only have 9 people. So you may have a group of 9 people, and out of that, maybe only half makes it through 30 days. So what has that done for you and your business? It's allowed you to focus your time on the people who deserve it. Right? That's what we have to be thinking about. We have to be thinking of who am I going to give my time to? Who am I going to invest into on my team? And the way I measure that is if somebody's giving me 100%, I'm going to give them 100%. If they want to run, we'll run. Right? If they want to walk, we'll walk. If they disappear, I'm going to disappear. And that's going to free up my time to find more people. Because we're never done recruiting. We're never done sponsoring new coaches, sponsoring new challengers. So it frees up my time so I don't have to keep going back to those people and saying, hey, where you at? Hey, did you do the assignment? Hey, did you check into the group? Hey, I didn't see you on the Google Hangout. Where are you at? I don't even mess with it anymore. I let the system do the filtering and the sorting for me. It's gonna very, very quickly, probably within the first week of you implementing a Coach Basics training program, you're going to see who your next leaders are very, very quickly. Right? So you don't have to mess around with wondering if somebody's in it or not. Words are words, but all I hear is people's actions. That's all I hear. So the people that show up, those are the people that I show up for them. Just to give you some quick numbers from the stuff that we've done, in our initial beta group, we started our group in May. We had a number of people hit Emerald. And in that group, we didn't have just brand new coaches. So I want to, back up a little bit and let you know that this is not just for brand new coaches. This is something for new coaches to go through. Obviously, this is something for coaches who maybe are Emerald or even Diamond coaches. I had all my Diamond coaches go through this program because I wanted them to learn what it's all about. So even if you're a Diamond coach, go through the program. Go through the program because it's going to be kind of hard for you to tell somebody else what to do if you've never done it for yourself. But through that, so the first group that we had started in May, we had, like I said, a number of people promoted to Emerald. We actually had 2 new Diamond coaches out of that group. People hitting Success Club, making money, earning their commissions back, which was exciting to see, especially since prior to that, we really didn't have like a solid system to implement with our team. So we've been having a ton of success, and even this last group here that we started in September, that they're winding up their first 30 days. I had 5 personally sponsored coaches in there. Of the 5, 3 of them are Emerald coaches. 3 of them have hit Success Club. One of them has 4 Success Club points, but she's fighting to hit Success Club this month. And the other guy has kind of filtered himself out. He doesn't show up anymore. So now I know, here's my 4 rock stars. Here's the 4 people that I'm going to focus my time on. So, think about that in your business. What would happen? What would your business look like a year from now if 80% of the people you bring in are hitting Emerald and hitting Success Club in their first 30 days as a coach? What kind of momentum would that build for your business? Right? What would that do for you? So that's kind of my highlights on Coach Basics and why I think it's so important. This is, like Blake was saying, this is a proven system. They didn't just, they took their time to put this together. I know Blake had a slide of something like April to July for something, but the beta groups were going on actually long before that, since there were some groups that I think started in November or maybe even October of last year. I think November was the first one. So they've been working through a lot of bugs, a lot of kinks. They asked for tons of in-the-field feedback of what's working, what's not, and we helped tweak this thing to get it to where it's at now, and we're going to continue to tweak it and offer suggestions, and that's why it's important for you to go to that Beachbody Coach Basics page, and as you start incorporating things, ask questions, offer feedback, offer suggestions on how it can become better, how it can become a smoother process. So just a couple of things that I want to talk about as far as leadership goes. I know, like Angie had mentioned, the importance of leadership, and I just wanted to hit on really just a couple of my takeaways from the event. This is my 3rd time attending leadership, and I really, every time I come back from these events, I just have a renewed energy a renewed passion for what we're doing, because the reality is that we can all get burned out, we can all get stressed, we can all kind of hit that slump, and it seems like every time that I'm starting to go into a slump, there's another event to pick me back up, and that's absolutely what this did for me, and just renewed my focus into what we're doing and what our goals are as a team. And so I want to tell you right now, if it doesn't matter what coach rank you are, you can be a brand new coach, I don't even care. You can qualify for next year's event. Put that on your goal board. Hopefully you have a goal board in wherever your office is, at your house. Put that in your goal board to attend leadership. And quite honestly, I have a feeling that it's not going to be 2-star to get there. I think it might be 3, 4, maybe even 5, the way the company is growing. But that shouldn't matter. Don't even let that discourage you. Just go after it. Set a goal to get it, and when the qualifications come out, just make it happen. That was something that I can still distinctly remember when I started taking this business serious in 2011. I saw a picture of Brad Gabala and Andrea, his fiancée now. I can say fiancée. I saw a picture of them coming back from the cruise. That was the Success Club trip. And I remember commenting on Andrea's pictures. I said, I'm going to be on next year's trip. I didn't even know what next year's trip was. I didn't even know what Success Club was. I just commented, I'm like, I'm going to be on the trip next year. And then I started learning how to qualify. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got to hit Success Club. And I hit Success Club, both my wife and I did, and we both qualified to go to Atlantis. And then I learned about leadership the following year. I'm like, okay, what's this about? Yeah, I'm going to qualify for that. We qualified for that. So set that goal right now. Set the goal and work with your coach to create a plan. Maybe you have a coach who doesn't exist anymore. Well, go to your back office, go on the left-hand side. It says your diamond coach, your star diamond coach, and just keep going up the tree until you find somebody that will help you. I guarantee if you're talking to your star diamond coach, they want to see you succeed probably more than you want to succeed at this point. So that was kind of my big takeaways from Summit. Was just, no matter where you're at, set those goals, go for them, and go crush it. So I hope that was helpful, Blake and Angie. So I know we're doing Q&A after, so if there's some questions about Coach Basics, be more than happy to stick around for a little bit.
Mark, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody jotted down some notes. And when we get done with the call, I hope you're jumping over to the Coach Basics and getting plugged in and getting plugged into the Facebook page. So again, thank you for your time. And again, you did such a great training at leadership. You were just great, and your information on Google Hangouts was spot on. It was awesome. So I hope to have it on video somewhere so everybody can learn about Google Hangouts from you. So again, thank you. So now we're going to roll over to Mr. Ted Duncan. And this is his very first time at leadership. So I'm just going to let him take it away and let him share his experience with you guys.
Hey, Angie. Thanks, guys, for having me on the call. It's an honor. And, the first thing I want to say is there's like a lot of great messages I got at this leadership, and I was pretty blown away. But the number one that I really want to share with people is if you're on this call, you need to get the summit. That's really the segue to getting to these events, to growing your business, and you should plan to go to all the Beachbody events, including leadership, including the cruise, but Summit you absolutely have to go to. That's really how I started. Just about a year ago, I went to my first Summit. I came back deciding I wanted to do the business, and actually I believe my first Success Club was last September, and now this will be my 12th Success Club month. So it can really propel your business and, get you going forward. One of the things through this leadership, I roomed with Jonathan Register, and we went through a bunch of training and ideas we have. And we've actually formulated a plan to get a minimum of 8 coaches from our group, just the Trek to Be Fit page alone, to leadership next September. And the key to our plan really is going to be this new Coach Basics training. And we're going to have more about the start date for our Coach Basics Challenge group, and we'll announce that on the team page soon. So just sit tight for a couple days, and you'll get the invite. I'm going to get a lot of messages. When's it going to start? When's it going to start? We'll let you know. We won't let you sit on the sidelines. So I was really amazed at this leadership retreat. I didn't really know what to expect. But the first night I was there, I was a little bit nervous, and I walked in, and I was definitely low man on the totem pole, only a one-star diamond. But within about 10 minutes, I found myself sitting by the fire, drinking a glass of wine, talking to Pete Pena for about an hour, and him basically going over the power of one that he came up with and how duplicating training, just one coach at a time, consistently, over time, with a system, can build a huge business over just a few short years. That was unbelievable. I loved hearing that and getting to spend the time with him. It's so much more intimate when you can talk to them one-on-one or even in a small group. I got to share a wine with Tara Carr and talk to her about her experiences in Japan, how she's been able to juggle motherhood and grow her business at the same time while living overseas and flying. I think she's a 1K, which means she's flown over 1 million miles back and forth just for Beachbody. So if she can make it to these events, you guys should be able to as well. Jason Diebold, to have him recognize me across the room and start a conversation with me because he saw a Facebook post. This guy is a multi-million-dollar earner based on team building, and he helps everybody. And for him to know who I am is just such a cool little thing. It just really blew me away. Of course, the finale, the icing on the cake, was, it's the last event. Everybody's cleaning up, last call. They're kind of pushing everybody out. And all of a sudden, I find myself there with Blake and Angie and Jonathan Register, and Carl Deichler comes up and starts talking to us. And to listen to Carl and talk to him on that level is just absolutely mind-blowing. If speaking candidly to the CEO of a $700 million company doesn't excite you, maybe you need to go sign up with another company like Visalis. I was just blown away being able to talk to him. And, in response to Carl Deichler's closing, his admission of repeated failures throughout the years, I think Jason Crawford really addressed this best in his wall post on the Fit Revolution page. I suggest all you go and read that, the post from Jason on the page. Read it and think about how you can fail fast, fail often, but be committed to success. And that's all I have to say. But it was a blast.
Thank you for sharing your heart, and it was such a pleasure for Blake and I to get to spend some time with you and see you and Jonathan brainstorming and building and planning to grow your business while you were at this event. And it was a real pleasure getting to spend time with you and Jonathan while you guys, like I said, I could just see the wheels spinning. I think there was smoke coming out of your ears.
I have one more thing I gotta say. Hey, Jason, grab it. Hold on to it. Grab it. That's it.
I'm afraid that's what that means. So with that, we're just going to turn it right over to Jason Croxford. Jason's he's been with Team Beachbody since I think he told me December 2008, and I've gotten to know him just a little bit over the years. But I really wanted him to close out this part of the call before we go into Q&A because and I'll find his post and I'll pin it back to the top of our page, or maybe Michelle can find it and pin it to the top of the page. He wrote just an eloquent kind of his feelings about leadership, and it wasn't hypey. It was from his heart, and it was about business and success. And it was just so well written. And so, Jason, I appreciate you taking the time to share your feelings on our team page and the perseverance that you've had in this business. I know you've had ups and downs and challenges like we all do, but you never give up, and you're fearless. And one of the things I just think is so cool about you, whenever I see you, you have this amazing smile on your face. So we thank you for that. So with that, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and you can kind of close out the call for us before we do Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Angie, and thank you, Blake. And it's always an honor being invited to be on a call and being able to share my thoughts and kind of the impact that I know we're kind of theming this around leadership and all the stuff that was covered there. I do you gotta say one sec, Ted? That was I haven't forgot that night. That was probably the highlight of the entire trip. What you just said, but I know everybody's like, "What are they talking about?" But I just have to say I haven't laughed that hard for I don't know how long. But anyway, so my head is spinning. Like, since I got back, I've just been, I can't describe to everyone like how much excitement and energy that I just that I absorbed from this event. And there's one thing that I just wanted to share that I thought was really interesting to me, or really just awesome, I guess I want to say, is with leadership. This year, actually, I wasn't even sure if I was going to qualify, because actually I'm a 4-star. I've been around since, like Angie said, I started December 2008. It's been a little while, so I've seen things, quite a few things happen. I was in before Shakeology was even a thing, like back in the $1 Million Body game, like all that stuff, just kind of in the background, building my business, kind of, it's what I do. But one of the things that I thought was really cool is just I want to give a shout out to kind of just everyone that I got to hang out with, like Mark and Brad Kabbalah and Ray and Jonathan and Ted and of course Blake and Angie. And I went alone. I didn't really have any of my downline there, and I just kind of went excited to go to plug into this event, but I went without anybody, and they just kind of took me in, and I was part of the group, and we just had a lot of fun. We sat together in the meetings with, like, I had Brad next to me and Jonathan, and just it's such a team atmosphere when you go to an event, I guess is what I'm trying to say, is even if you're somebody like me and you're kind of a lone wolf sometimes, you're just kind of doing your thing, when you go to these events, you'll find the most amazing people that there's something about the Beachbody culture that gets to me. Like I said, I've been around a while, so for me, I wasn't even sure when I first started this thing if it was, I wasn't fully into it. It wasn't, all skin in the game. I knew this thing would work. I knew what network marketing was, and I was excited about P90X. That's what I was doing, but I didn't quite believe in Beachbody yet. I was just building on the internet. It's what I do, YouTube videos, stuff like that. I do internet marketing, so I tend to isolate myself, and kind of get away from that whole human connection sometimes. What happened to me when I finally put skin in the game and really believed 100% in this opportunity, and kind of segue into things that, like Mark said and what Ted said about Carl and whatever, is I went in 2010 in January in Boston. I was living in Florida, but they had a game plan event. It was a game plan back then. It's what they were doing. It's kind of the old Coach Basics, if you will, but Coach Basics now is just amazing. It's incredible. Partly why my head is spinning. But that whole event was great. But at the end, Carl was actually a guest at that event. And I kind of got a picture with Carl and got to talk to him for a second. And I met him. And I was used to corporate world and just not connecting with anybody, above, managers or whatever else. I just never connected. I was just there to do my job, get paid. But Carl really sold me the vision when I saw how real and how much he believed in this opportunity and what it is and how powerful it is and what an impact it will have on everyone's lives. So that was it for me. That's where I was just all in from that point. And I didn't stop. Like, I've just kind of been growing since. Every year I set a goal. I want to rank advance every year. I want to grow every year. First it was just me growing my team, and then of course once you grow a team it becomes a little more complicated as you have to develop your leaders and find those that are going to grow this thing with you. But you do it, and my business continued to grow every year, and it's been a great journey. However, I want to be, just briefly, I want to try to give a big impact as much as I can for some of you out there that maybe maybe you're just starting, but maybe you've been in this a little while and you've just kind of fizzled out, And so, like I just told you, since the beginning, I kind of grew every year. I rank advanced every year. My income grew every year, up until last year. It was about May last year. And that's why there's a few things I'm going to share. 2 things that impacted me. It's in that post that Angie mentioned. That's why I was so inspired when I got home. Like, I drove home as fast as I could, and actually I drive home from California to Arizona. It was about 7 hours. I downloaded it on Audible. I downloaded the Eric Worre's GoPro book. It's like a 3-hour audio, 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. That thing was amazing because it really just, it kind of tied it all together for me. But so there were the 2 things that really reached out to me, because this last year I've been kind of just not doing much. And ironically, all the years I was growing, I was on every national call. I was going to every event. When Super Saturday started, I was going to all those. I was going to, this would have been my 3rd leadership this year, but actually I missed last year. I qualified, but I missed it. I missed the Success Club trip. I qualified, but I missed it. things kind of came up. I got distracted. They were big things, but still, at the end of the day, I wasn't connected at the events. And at the same time, my business kind of just sat there. My income has been fine. It continues to go because it's an amazing opportunity. When you build a team of leaders, you're going to get residual income. And that's the thing. I don't know any other job that I could have basically taken the last year off because I fizzled out and still got paid the same amount. But that's just what this opportunity is. But for me going to this event, the two things. Well, one was Doug Fitzgerald. He talked about, he shared how he kind of, he's done really well in this business, but in the last year, he was sharing his story. He was calling it kind of that he got kind of bored or that he got tired is what it was. And Carl actually posed the question to him, are you tired or are you bored? And that's what really got him thinking, wait, what, maybe I'm just bored and I haven't taken the opportunity to reinvent myself. And that just, wow, like I got thinking about it and I'm sitting there in about midway through this room, and I felt like Doug was talking to me because he was saying, like, he felt like he was getting tired and he just kind of was slowing down a little bit, and he was kind of isolating himself. And you know what? That's exactly what I did this last year. I didn't really go to any events until this leadership. I missed a bunch of stuff. I went to Summit, but I wasn't really fully engaged there. I went. It was a great event. Summit's like where it's at. Like if you're new or you've been at this a while, you got to go to Summit. But Doug really his message really got to me because I heard it, and from that point, it's just been about reinventing yourself, and that's what he talked about. Every year you have to do that, and that's what I used to do every year. That's why my income grew, my business grew, and everything just kept moving forward until I got unplugged from events, and that's when I kind of isolated myself, and things just kind of, went where they were and didn't really go anywhere for the last year. So that's one of the big messages that I got because I went to an event, because I got to leadership, and because I was sitting in that seat. If I didn't hear that message, I'd probably still be doing the same thing, twiddling my thumbs, just kind of not inspired and not seeing the vision anymore. Because at events is where you see the vision. And then the other thing, of course, was Carl, his closing statement and sharing his, he shared stuff as basic as, you think of it as basic, but when he shared the way he shared his story of when he was a kid kind of losing, being part of a baseball team or basketball, whatever it was, and just their losing streak, and how his dad just told him that, because Carl said he was like, they lost like a ton. It was like 0-15 or something, but how he was just, hanging his head and, in shame when his dad went to pick him up the games. His dad went to all of his games and watched him play every time. And Carl said that his dad kind of looked at him when Carl was all disappointed in himself and his team and their losses. And he told him, you know what, Carl, you are, I see you pushing harder than everyone. You're working harder than everyone. That you're there. You're showing up. You're just doing it. Even though you're losing, you're still just putting it in. You're doing the work. And that was another thing that I don't know what it was. It was just, I do know what it was. Like, because I looked at my own journey, and I looked at. So Doug said, you got to reinvent yourself every year. And guess what? I stopped reinventing myself. I hit my goals. I got financial freedom. I got time freedom. I got to a point where I hit the goals that I had personally. And I stopped reinventing myself. And go figure, my growth stopped. It sat where it's at because I didn't do new goals. I didn't look at my next vision. I wasn't going to events. I wasn't on the national call. And I'm being brutally honest with you because I know some of you out there probably are not on the Monday national calls. You're probably not planning to go to Super Saturdays. You probably haven't set a goal to go to leadership, and you haven't bought your summit ticket yet. Well, you know what? This is the time that you reinvent yourself, and regardless of your situation, you get there because you're going to be that person that's going to be sitting there, and you're going to hear that message. But if you're not there, you're not going to hear it, and you're not going to be inspired, and nothing's going to go anywhere. So it's I can't stress to you enough. That was the inspiration I put into that message when I got back on the team page. Was just, you've got to just keep pushing forward. And I look at this last year as like, I was feeling, failure. I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't growing. And then when I heard all that stuff, I was like, you know what? That's okay, because I can still push forward. I can still try. I can take this as a lesson, and I can start showing up. And as soon as I got back, all I've done is just got my team rallied, got my team cup registered, got my Coach Basics group set, ready to go. I invited my entire organization for those that are ready to commit. I got together with my diamonds, told them to invite their personals. We're going to work in pods as one group, but they're going to work with their personals. I told my diamonds, you can invite your people, but you have to be in this basics too. We're not going to just bring your people in and you just go do your thing. You have to be engaged in this too as a team. So that was just my final message, is just get plugged into Coach Basics and just, I mean, really push with it, because I'm excited about this thing. I've seen a lot of stuff happen over 4 years, and to see Beachbody put something like this together and give us a simple, duplicatable system that we can give our people, that we can learn, we can train our diamonds and so on and so forth, and it can duplicate. That is how you are going to build the business that you want. That's how you get financial freedom. That's how you get time freedom with this opportunity, and you help your coaches do the exact same thing. So the last thing I want to leave on is the audio I listened to with Eric Worre. The one thing he said that really hit me, that just set me off on that drive home, was the difference between an amateur or a pro. What do you want to be in your business? Do you want to be an amateur? Well, then just don't show up to the events. Don't, whatever. If you're not an amateur, don't take it seriously. Just do your thing, try to get some sales, whatever else. Say you're going to go, but don't go. Say you're going to go to Summit, but back out last second. Say you're going to go to Super Saturday, tomorrow, 2 days from now, and don't go. Be an amateur. Or do you want to be professional? Do you want to be a network marketing professional? Do you want to make this thing as big as your dreams and your visions could possibly be? Well, then you have to have a vision to be a professional and reinvent yourself every year, and don't be afraid to fail. So that's what I got. I'm going to hand this back over to you, Angie.
Well, you're going to get Blake.
Or Blake.
Some stuff going for dinner for us, but that was awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. I mean, see, these are the kind of people you guys will be around, and other Star Diamonds, and like I said, meeting Carl and stuff like that. It's much more intimate. It's for like leadership. They're both important to get to. And if you make a goal for it, you can do it. You just got to do it, buckle down. And when we started this business 7 years ago with Beachbody, almost 7 years ago, we had a one-page website with our before and after picture and all the text we wanted to write. And that's all we had. And Doug talked about that and kind of brought back memories of, we built this thing, with literally nothing, no CDs, DVDs, no websites, literally just doing the basics and stuff. And it's grown now to a point where the company, fast forward 6 years later, and now you got these amazing tools, the Coach Basics. You got amazing leaders that you can plug into, like everybody on the call here, and other leaders that are part of your team. And those are what you want to do. If you're not getting, like Mark said, if you're not getting satisfaction from somebody that's, your coach or, your organization, then go up. It's on the left-hand side of your page, and you can get your Diamond and Star Diamond coach and plug in. But with that, Michelle, I don't don't know if we have any questions. If, we're almost an hour on the call right now. I got the sharing thing, but I don't see any question box. Do you have anything showing up?
There was a couple of questions. One was, there might not be an answer for this, but did they talk at all about portion control with the 21-day fix? Did they go into detail, or is that just still coming?
My take, and anybody else can chime in, is that that's part of the workout program, so it'll be part of the meal planning and stuff like that. That'll, nothing's going to be on the side. Is this on the side, or you mean like is there something they can look at now?
Yeah, I guess this coach was asking, are there more details about the portion control in that particular workout?
Well, I mean, that's you can go right here, to type in 21-day reset in Google or 21-day fix, and that's what will show up. So that's all the information there is right now. I don't know of anything else. You can put your name in here, but I think we'll get the information before anybody else. So right now, I think it's it's not out. It's not going to come out for 4 or 5 months. So we haven't heard anything.
Okay, and we have a question. Do we know the dates for Summit 2014?
Yeah, I didn't write that down. Anybody else got that?
CoachSummit.com.
Okay, go to CoachSummit.com. Okay, so we also have another question, Blake. This is probably a good question for some people on the call. It's my coach and my Star Diamond coach are the same person. How do I find out who is above that person?
because they can see their diamond coach, their star diamond coach as well.
Yeah, he's saying it's the same person, so maybe there's an issue where that person's not super involved, and so he wants to plug into whoever's above that person. Is there a way, like, can you
I would call Coach Relations.
Okay. Call Coach Relations. And then,
there's a...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that they got, they can see their personally sponsored, or the coach is sponsored, and they can see their diamond and star, and they're saying that's all three.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I just call Coach Relations.
Okay. Last question. Our last question is, I can't find the video library anymore. Where is it? Do you have any? I think it's still there. It's just they've taken off some of the legacy videos.
The videos, you mean?
Yeah, the video library. If you go into your back office and it's sales and marketing, and you go into any of those products, they're.
No,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's on the right-hand side of your when you go right in your back office. If you go to the right, there's the breaking coach news. Right underneath that, it'll say video library, and there's a couple videos there. You just click on video library, whether you want English or Spanish, and you're in the video library.
Awesome.
They took away the tab that they used to have a while back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of in a goofy spot. It's hard. It's literally just a text link, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's right, like Mark said, it's right above the video.
Perfect. That's all the questions we have.
Cool. All right, everybody, let's close it out. So we've been on an hour, and we'll have this up here tonight or tomorrow on the recording for your team. If you got some value out of it, you can plug your team into it. And with that, we'll close it out for the night, and stay tuned for next week's training, which we're not sure what it is yet, but we're working on that. So make it a great night, and make sure you plug into our Team for Revolution Facebook page and post on there, and get plugged into everybody, and make sure you make it a goal and a plan and a commitment to be at Summit and leadership next year. And with that, we'll close it out. I want to thank Michelle and Mark and Ted and Jason and Angie, and we'll see you guys next week. All right, good night.